Imagine stepping out into a world where the air is supercharged, where every breath you take is like a burst of energy. Trees tower higher than skyscrapers, insects buzz around, larger than you've ever seen, and the cities are alive with a new kind of vibrancy. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie. It's a glimpse into a world where Earth's oxygen levels have doubled. Right now, the air we breathe is about 21% oxygen. But what if this number shot up to 42%? What changes would we see in our environment, our health, and our daily lives? Right now, as you're watching this, the air around you is made up of about 21% oxygen. This invisible gas is a big deal. It's the breath of life for almost every creature on Earth. Oxygen doesn't just keep us alive, it's also the secret ingredient that makes fires burn. Without enough oxygen, a fire simply can't start or keep going. But here's something mind-blowing. Earth's oxygen levels haven't always been like this. Millions of years ago, during the time of the dinosaurs, our planet had way more oxygen. Imagine forests full of giant insects, because that's what high oxygen levels can do. On the flip side, there were also times when Earth had much less oxygen, which made it tough for life to thrive. These ups and downs in oxygen levels have been a roller coaster ride throughout Earth's history, shaping the world as we know it. Stepping into a world with double the oxygen, you might feel a sudden boost in your energy and stamina. It's like having an extra cup of coffee without actually drinking one. Your brain would be more alert and your muscles could work harder and longer. Sports records would shatter and daily tasks would feel easier. But this super-oxygenated air isn't all good news. Too much of a good thing can be bad, and that's true for oxygen as well. Breathing in too much oxygen can lead to oxygen toxicity, a serious condition. It can harm your lungs and make it hard to breathe, kind of like having a really bad asthma attack. Even your eyesight could take a hit, making things blurry or causing tunnel vision. So, while you might feel like a superhero at first, these health risks are a major downside. Now let's think about how our bodies would handle this change over time. Humans are great at adapting, but this is a big shift. Would our bodies adjust to handle the extra oxygen, or would the health risks become a new normal? It's a question that scientists would be racing to answer. And the answer could change how we live in this oxygen-rich world. In this oxygen-packed world, plants would be living the dream. With so much oxygen, they could grow faster and bigger than ever before. Imagine walking through a forest with trees towering above, like giants watching over you. But it's not just about bigger trees. This overgrowth could change entire ecosystems. Plants that used to struggle might suddenly thrive, and this could knock the natural balance out of whack, affecting all sorts of wildlife. Speaking of wildlife, animals would also feel the effects of this oxygen boost. Land creatures might not change much at first glance, but it's a different story for insects. Since insects breathe through their skin, more oxygen could mean bigger bugs. We're talking about butterflies, the size of birds and ants that you can't ignore. In water, fish and other aquatic animals might find their environments changing too, as plants grow denser and competition for food increases. But here's a twist. With all this extra oxygen, the risk of wildfires skyrockets. Fires would start easier and burn hotter and faster. A small spark could turn into a raging inferno in no time. This means that forest areas and even cities would have to be extra careful. The balance between enjoying the lush, oxygen-rich environment and staying safe from fires would be a delicate one. With all this extra oxygen, the medical world would see some big changes. Doctors might find new ways to treat diseases, using oxygen-rich environments to speed up healing. But there's a catch. They'd also have to deal with new health issues caused by too much oxygen, like treating cases of oxygen toxicity. It's a double-edged sword, a potential for groundbreaking treatments, but also new medical challenges to overcome. Now think about how we get around. Cars, buses and planes all rely on combustion engines which need oxygen to work. With more oxygen, these engines could run more efficiently, giving us faster and possibly even cleaner transportation. But there's a risk here too. More oxygen means a higher chance of things catching fire. Imagine a car engine that's more likely to overheat, or a small accident leading to a major fire. Transportation would have to adapt, focusing on safety just as much as efficiency. In our day-to-day lives, everything would need a rethink. Our exercise routines could be more intense, thanks to that extra energy from more oxygen. But we'd also need to be more careful. A simple jog in the park could turn into a risky activity if we're not careful about oxygen levels. And safety protocols would be everywhere, from schools to offices, ensuring that everyone knows what to do in case of fires or oxygen-related health issues. This new world would be full of possibilities, but it would also require us to be more cautious and aware of our surroundings. Double the oxygen, double the trouble for climate change. More oxygen means fires could burn hotter and more often, releasing massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This could speed up global warming, leading to more extreme weather and unpredictable climate patterns. We might see hotter summers, colder winters, or sudden shifts in weather that we're just not prepared for. It's a domino effect that could reshape our world's climate in ways we can't even fully predict yet. This shift in the environment could also kickstart some major changes in evolution. Plants and animals would have to adapt to not just more oxygen, but also the changing climate. We might see new species emerge while others could disappear. And what about us humans? With our bodies and health affected by the increased oxygen, we might also begin to evolve in new ways, maybe even developing traits to cope with the new challenges of this oxygen-rich world. And let's not forget about the geopolitical impact. Countries might fight over or come together to manage this new environment. There would be debates over how to handle the increased fire risks, the shift in wildlife populations, and the climate changes. New policies and agreements would need to be made to keep our planet safe and livable. It's not just about science, it's about how we, as a global community, respond to these massive changes. As we continue to ponder and explore such fascinating scenarios, let's always remember the responsibility we have to our planet and each other in preserving the world we live in.